All right, we are now live on Twitch and YouTube. Let's go. Welcome everyone to another episode of the BCS Sports Show. It's your host CJ, and then at least in Discord below me is Spects, and then to my left in the stream is Bryce. What's up, dudes?
Woo!
Yay!
Did you know that the Russell Wilson's Danger Witch isn't actually spicy?
Yeah, we talked about this on Thursday.
We discovered that the spice.
The spice comes from banana peppers, dude. That's the spiciest thing on that sandwich.
Did you guys like that I called you scrubs on?
That's crazy though. That I thought it was funny.
I was mostly seeing actually pay attention to the chat. So
I saw it like a minute or two after you sent it. It's open. I just don't look over there very often.
It's kind of like your actual streams on Twitch.
That is true. Yeah, I wasn't a very good streamer. Still am not.
There's been multiple times where we've streamed and MPZ will come in and you'll be like, "Oh, he sent me a message like 20 minutes ago."
Hey, that is not my calling. I think I found that out.
I will say this is streaming. Like I'm still like putting out streams from time to time, but I've definitely stopped with the I need to do the stuff that will make me a big streamer, because like if I was to do Mario Maker and like really push for it, yeah, I could probably average close to 10 on stream, but it's like it's not gonna make much of a difference. None of them are subbing, none of them are giving bits. So it's
right,
like,
and then you have to play Mario Maker for hours on it.
Well, and then it increases the ad revenue. I will eventually go back to Mario Maker when I feel like playing Mario Maker. Yeah. Before there's a little period there. I know we're a sports show, but this is just a commentary. I was just saying, like, I would just say, like, I made a decision a long time ago that I'm like, I'm not gonna push myself to do stuff that's like just because like there's people that will watch me for it.
Yeah, stuff that doesn't bring you joy. You Marie Kondo that basically. It's
it's like I got like the episodes for the Oklahoma State game for BYU this week haven't done super well yet at the very least. But my Arizona post game one ended up with like over 100 views on YouTube.
Ooh, nice! That's awesome.
I was like, sweet. This is just me talking like something that I really am passionate about. So like, sweet. I don't like. I will chase those kinds of views if I'm passionate about what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it helps too that you're very niche down into BYU versus college football.
Well, and that's how I think I got the views on YouTube. Is I'm sure that there's people that's like their whole algorithm is like BYU stuff.
BYU hardcore.
So it just pops up into there, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll watch that."
Why not? Love to hear about BYU, which I get it. I do the same about the Nuggets sometimes. So, yeah. Anyway, well, I guess let's just talk about BYU. Top 10, maybe? Top 10 this week? I think so.
I mean, should they be? Yes. They should have been top 10 last week, honestly. But, like, I mean, like, look, you got Notre Dame still ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
How? Notre Dame's lost a game to a much worse team. BYU has two teams that they've beaten that are currently ranked, Kansas State and SMU. And both of them look like they're decent. Like they're real teams. Like
Kansas
legit
State's
teams.
Pretty good, yeah.
I think BYU's biggest issue, just from an outside perspective, is the Big 12 is so weak. But then I look at number 6, Miami, and I think the ACC is
pretty weak too.
The ACC is weaker.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
It's all about
Miami's
preseason resumes and stuff like that.
I mean, in terms of probably what's going to happen is Texas will probably drop to probably 3.
Yeah, I mean, assuming right?
No, they're going to drop.
They'll drop going there. Oh, yeah, that's going to probably be a loss. But
Oregon will be number 1. Penn State will be 2. Ohio State probably 3.
Watch, I say that's probably going to be a loss, and watch after we get off this, they're like, by the time we're done playing Fortnite later tonight, Arch Manning leads them to like back to 23-3 and last try of the game kind of thing. And it's like, oh my god, what is going on?
Even in terms of like lower seeds, where it's like, oh, if they lose, Alabama lost. I think LSU is losing.
Is LSU losing right now?
I think they're losing to Arkansas. I think they're losing to Arkansas.
No, they're up by 24 right now. They're gonna.
They were winning.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of Tennessee had it. Tennessee won. So it's just a matter of, do they have enough to jump into it? Like I said, I think they should.
If Iowa State loses, which right now it's a very close game, it basically looks like it's gonna be tied up. I don't know that Iowa State's gonna lose, so I can't really put too much stock into that. But if they lose, I personally think they should at least jump up to a couple spots. But I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe the voters will finally maybe like look at things and be like, you know what? It's 7 games and they're still undefeated. The other thing that will play a role is I think BYU will be ranked higher than the AP poll gives them credit for when the college football playoff polls come out. Because that often changes things quite a bit.
They'll be undefeated in a major conference.
You see like a top 10, and then all of a sudden the CFP comes out and the AP poll ends up matching. Basically, I think what happens a lot of the time after the college football playoff poll comes out is people basically just take that poll and then just take the results after, like when they go to make their votes a few days later. So it's like they're like, okay, so this is how the committee feels about it, so we should feel similarly, sort of thing. So
gotcha.
I would expect that if BYU continues, like if BYU can take care of their business and beat UCF next week, then when does the college football playoff poll come out?
In the next couple weeks. I think it's is it week 8?
Yeah, I don't know. That is a good question when it comes out official. I wonder if it's I don't know, but honestly, I think BYU probably ends
the
up
rankings start on Tuesday, November 5th.
Oh,
so that's not this weekend.
If they take care of business versus UCF next week, then they have a bye week the week after. So yeah, if they take care of business next week, they should be in the top 10 in the first college football playoff poll. Should be, but
yeah.
I'm also never surprised by the bias against Big 12 teams in general, but also BYU. So
yeah,
I think they're gonna.
We'll see how it goes.
They're not gonna have they're gonna have to start looking.
Well, I was when we came into these games, this stretch of games where it was Arizona, Oklahoma State, UCF kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember looking forward at Arizona. I was super nervous, and I was already sitting there saying, look, if we do somehow end up going to Rice-Eccles Stadium, if we end up going up to Salt Lake after our bye week in November, if we end up going up there undefeated, I will be so hyped, but also extremely nervous. Because, that was the thing last week. When we got to 6-0, when BYU got to 6-0, I'm like, okay, one stress is over. Because for me, when we entered the season, I was like, I just want 6 wins. And we got 6 wins in our first 6 games. Yeah. I'm like, cool, yeah. Now we're guaranteed to be above 500 regardless at the end of the season. So it's like, there's that helps too. But it's like now I'm super stressed because I'm like, I don't want to lose any games, even though I know it's a very real possibility. But if BYU loses to Utah and that's their only loss, then I at least feel a little better about that, because if we go into the conference championship game just having lost to Utah, then I would be happy. So
yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how things go.
They're obviously they're in a great spot where they are. I think this week we probably don't see them jump too far in the rankings just based on who all won. Really, Alabama is the only team that I think they could leapfrog. Based on
I'm
previous
hoping Bama
rankings.
at least gets put behind them.
Yeah.
And if Iowa State loses, then you're probably right.
That's the other one.
Maybe they get a couple extra surprise votes and they jump up to 10.
10, yeah, but I think
something happens and they swap Notre Dame out or something
Yeah. But I think they probably, if Iowa State loses, I think they end up at 11. And if they don't lose, then they probably end at 12, because Alabama is going to drop far this week, because between the loss, 2 losses plus their South Carolina game, they look like crap. I feel like that's not going to be ignored as much as it probably already was. So
Yeah, I just sometimes don't trust the voters when it comes to Bama.
It's true. It is Alabama.
Fair, I will say this: they are a Saban-less Bama, and I don't have as much experience with the Saban-less Bama.
I mean, so before Saban, they were not good.
Since
well, no, I know.
But what I'm saying is, like, maybe now they are less like there's less like here.
There's less benefit of the doubt. 100%.
More, yeah. Maybe it's like Caleb DeBoer. Maybe he's just not good enough to lead this team. All right, let's jump in the rankings. Like that's what I'm hoping for. And if BYU at the very least, if BYU ends above them, then I can at least like be like who like I messaged you guys on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Who thought BYU at the beginning of the year would be ranked higher than Alabama at some point in the season?
Not me.
Like nobody thought BYU would be ranked at all. Like this is great time for me to be a BYU fan. I will say this. Last night though, last night was so incredibly nerve-wracking for me at the end there, because all cards on the table, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I didn't watch solid portions of the BYU game last night because my wife and I bought tickets to go see Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh, nice.
Up in Salt Lake, and so it was at the same time as the BYU game. I didn't know when I bought the tickets, but like my wife got really into Gabriel Iglesias like 5 months ago or something, and I kind of got her into him because like for me it was like I was mostly aware of him from when I was like in middle school,
right?
And so we had done a family vacation over the summer, and I showed her his stuff, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is hilarious!"
Yeah, he's funny.
So we went and saw him, and it was a great show. And so I was paying attention to the score. I was even watching portions of it during the show. Nice. But I was trying to also like not completely waste my money on the tickets, so I was trying to make sure I was paying more attention to the show. And as we were on our way out, as we were on our way out to the car, BYU kicked a field goal. And I was like, okay, we're up. Like I was like, but now our defense has to like come out and do stuff. And they didn't. And then eventually, Oklahoma State scores, and I'm like, no, this is how it happens. Because like, if I know a lot of fans will say this, but I feel like as a BYU fan over the years, I've just been trained to be like 2021, BYU had college football playoff. What's the word? Aspirations. And they got beat by Boise State. And
on time out. We have a development. We have a development. There is now a ball game in this Texas Georgia game.
Yeah, Texas
and
scored.
The Texas students just got reversed a call by throwing trash on the field.
Fantastic.
Oh gosh.
Wait, is Arch Manning playing?
By throwing water bottles on the field, and it was defensive pass interference. And the Texas student section threw water bottles on the field, so they overturned the call. This is amazing.
That's incredible.
Oh my goodness. Is this... Wait, did I just see what I think I saw? Is that a turnover?
Yeah, it was a... Wait, what? No,
yeah,
it was a defensive pass interference. Yeah, they called defensive. Yeah, it was called. They called defensive pass interference, and then then I'm just gonna also.
Okay, so that's what. Okay, so
you're
saying right now they have the ball though, and they could.
No, they scored.
They don't have the ball. Okay,
that's how they scored. No, that's how they scored.
I'm looking at replays, so I'm just turning on the game.
Because this happened.
Okay, I see.
They threw water bottles on the field.
I see
bullied the referees.
So
fantastic.
But anyways,
bullying works, kids.
So we hit the road and we're listening to BYU, and it was like partway onto the road, Oklahoma State scores the go-ahead touchdown.
And
like I said, I was like, oh crap, this sucks. Like, oh whatever. And then BYU gets the ball. And we're like halfway home basically.
Right.
And BYU just gets the ball and what's it called? They have a fourth down that they have to convert, and they're able to convert this fourth down. And I'm like, okay, we're still alive, but this is so stressful. And then all of a sudden I hear, Jake Retzloff runs for 20, 30 yards or whatever it was, and like he runs for this huge first down, and it's like all of a sudden the game is like right there, like within the grasp, and then so I'm watching, and what was funny about the winning play was the radio guy was so excited I couldn't 100% understand him, and also then me and my wife were like screaming, we're like, I literally like honked my horn a couple times on the freeway, like, what's going on?
Terrifying.
And and so like what you hear is like Retzloff, throws it, and who is it? Darius, and he's like, Lassiter, 10, 5, and then what he says is he says something like he's gonna get in for the touchdown. But what I heard was, is he in for the touchdown?
Oh yeah.
Because like I said, he was screaming so hard. And then he says, yeah, he's touchdown. And so I was already cheering at that point. So in my head, I had imagined this play was like, he got the ball and he had to like run into some tacklers and try to like get over the end zone sort of thing. So when I watched it, when I got home and saw that he just got the ball, juked a couple guys and was in the end zone, I was like, oh, that wasn't the play I imagined at all. Re-listen to the replay and I hear him say, oh, he's going to get the touchdown or something. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it was one of those things. And my heart does not want those kinds of games, but it's also kind of one of those things for I think almost any team, even decent teams or good teams, you almost have to have like one game a year where it's like you weren't playing at your best, the other team kind of had your number a bit, like whatever it was. How do you respond in that game? Yes. And the fact that they came away with the win, I'm like, okay, this could be a team. This could be like
they responded well to it.
I could be sitting here going, well, maybe 10-2 or maybe 12-0. I don't know. and
also playoff. Arizona, let's go.
Well, so BYU's remaining schedule is UCF, then Utah, then Kansas, then Arizona State, then Houston. And those are all two or three of those are all very winnable games, and the other
Kansas
are pretty winnable games. Are BYU games that BYU should be able to compete in.
They should, yeah,
because BYU should be able to compete with Arizona State and Utah.
Yes, especially with Utah's
They
injury.
should beat UCF. Even though ESPN's still not quite giving BYU credit for being favored against UCF. But they should beat UCF, Kansas, and Houston.
Yeah.
And Arizona State today didn't look great. They got beat by Cincinnati. And at one point they were down like 24-7. So like I'm sitting here like that game against Utah, if we get through that undefeated, like if we beat Utah in the Holy War this year, you're going to hear me be like, oh, we could be going for perfection. Oh my gosh.
They're like, this is the year going for the natty, dude.
That's when I'll actually believe that BYU could potentially make the playoff. Before that, I will still be like, yeah, but we still have to beat UCF in Orlando and then beat Utah in Salt Lake. Like, those are not easy tasks. And then we would still have to beat Arizona State in Tempe. So
yes,
Arizona State's Tempe, right?
I thought Arizona State was Phoenix.
Or are they Phoenix?
I'm pretty sure they're Phoenix. I'm gonna look.
You're probably right.
Like, I've been to Phoenix. I'm pretty sure I drove by their baseball stadium.
Houston?
No, wait, there is a Tempe campus, but it looks like Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix metropolitan area. Yeah. Okay, they do have a Tempe campus though,
which that makes sense.
So
I mean, that's all state schools, or a lot of state schools do that. So,
anyways,
well, let's go BYU. Let's go undefeated.
But yeah,
I look forward to seeing you in the championship game for the conference. See you. We won today.
I don't know.
Let's go.
Didn't you guys lose? Didn't you guys lose to Kansas State?
Yeah, but it was a close game.
I know, but that could be who it comes down to if Iowa State loses a game or two.
Could be
BYU rematching against Kansas State, which would be very nerve-wracking for me because it's very difficult to beat teams twice.
Yes, it is.
I don't know what winning is anymore.
That's true. You guys lost to Maryland. Go Terps, by the way.
I literally went in.
Go Terps.
I said in my very short stream today, I literally said USC's going to lose to Maryland. It's just a matter of how. They're going to lose.
And you're right. They did.
Yeah, I was right. And they're probably and they will probably lose to Rutgers, and it'll just continue down this downward spiral of Lincoln Riley doesn't know how to coach anymore, and they hired an idiot.
I will say this. Here's the thing I will say that I am trying to do this year is you know me, I hate USC. Like growing up in Southern California.
I'm starting to hate USC.
He's already there. He hates
basically for a lifetime I've hated USC and UCLA.
UCLA is a special kinds of messed up. They've ruined Eric Bieniemy.
They did. It's incredible.
That man is done.
They destroyed what Patrick Mahomes built, dude.
But that's what
I got a fun thing about Patrick Mahomes on a Reddit post saying he's going to regress to 2018 Dak, and those Redditors, man, don't want to believe it. Gotta hate Lincoln Riley. He can go back to Oklahoma.
Just look at it this way: you're faster to getting a new coach. All right,
but I hate
$88 million buyout.
Yeah. I hate USC and UCLA, but I have used the kid gloves where Spects is involved.
I don't care. I stopped caring last week.
I literally said on our Discord today. I literally said to Spects, "Oh man, that sucks. It sucks to have your team like losing. I know how that feels. Like
been there a bunch.
Years of terribleness and."
It goes back to what I said. I'm convinced he doesn't know what to do with an average quarterback.
I'm
convinced
he's not. I will say that, and I will say that is the interesting thing for me about BYU. We don't have a world beater at quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I think Jake Retzloff is a lot better than what's it called? Them fans were giving him credit for. I think, and like people like who.
Wait, hold on.
I'm looking for.
Did UCF just
scored
sixth?
So that could be good for BYU, but
that's great for BYU. Yeah,
I will say so. Like
and Colorado,
the analysts, everybody was picking PFF, and everybody was like, Jake Retzloff's not that good. He's going to be bottom of the league, and it's like he's turned out to be one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12, and it's like. He's still not perfect, but like I think it's great what BYU's offense has done and their defense has done, and every part of the team has done to like they play as a team, so they're able to like
you want to know what really
for each other's weaknesses.
You want to know what really pisses me off, and this is probably just me thing, is I think it's the fact that everyone likes to stroke the ego of this man because of like Baker Mayfield, Murray, Caleb Williams.
I just wonder what's the problem.
Huh?
I just wonder, is Lincoln Riley the problem?
He is the problem. He's the thing. I'm starting to realize something. I think he's good at taking quarterbacks that have talent and elevating them to that next level.
Because USC is
talent. Miller Moss doesn't have any talent. Miller Moss is Brett Favre.
Well, so because like my thing is USC has had. Over these years, has had so many quarterbacks and things like. They're recruits. They've recruited at a high level for years.
No, they haven't.
And
in the last decade, it's been miserable. Their recruiting classes aren't as good as you think they are.
Okay, at least in the past 5 years.
Not even the last 5 years. I was talking to CJ about this, I think, not too long ago, where it's like, don't they have like top 10 like recruiting classes? I'm like, no, they haven't had. They've been like 70. They don't even get good recruits anymore. They can't. Lincoln Riley can't recruit. No one wants to be out here. Like, you're in this position where it's like they're not going to be able to compete. They have nothing, like, unless you're a quarterback, and if you're a high-end quarterback now, why would you want to come here? He can't elevate a guy who's average. So what's the answer going to be? Oh, hey, let's go find a 5-star recruit who can actually throw. and try.
Okay. But I guess what I'm saying is you guys look. BYU has literally never had a 5-star recruit. That might change this year because there's a tight end that seems like he might be liking BYU. But you guys, a year in and year out for a long time, have been able to get 5-star recruits and 4-star recruits. I'm trying to find is there a place that has like historical recruiting classes?
So I'm looking at it now. 2020 they were 64th. 2021 and 22 they were in the top 10. They were 6 and 7. 2023 they were 20th. So it's very up and down. They do get 5 stars for sure. But it looks like there's some years where they suck, and there's some years where they're top 10, like we kind of expect USC to be.
Okay. So, but still, like they're still not making the most out of what they should be doing. And particularly Lincoln Riley, when he came over, he brought this group of guys. He brought like several recruits.
He brought guys with his recruit. He brought the transfer portal, and because they did so, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you can rebuild a team through the portal." And I don't think you can rebuild a team through the portal at all. And you're sort of seeing that because that's what they've tried to do. Is they can't, because like they're sort of lackluster recruiting efforts. They have to go into the portal, and they end up with players like Bear Anderson who just want to fuck around and find out, don't want to do jack diddly shit.
Well, because leave. What somebody pointed out on Twitter is it feels like USC has a bunch of, when it comes to like the people that they end up having on their team, they have a bunch of extremely talented guys, like generational talents, but they just are all in it for themselves. They don't bring in guys that are going to be part of a system. They're going to be like a lot of these guys need. I mean, for me, if I was the coach, I'd be like, look, a lot of you guys are super talented. What you need to understand is, you can make yourself look good, but I think you're missing
something of Lincoln. I don't think Lincoln Riley gives a fuck.
Well, no, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Either he or what the next coach needs to be able to do is say,
I don't think you
need to play. You need to play in the system, or I'm not going to play you.
Yeah, you know what they're gonna say? All right, cool. I'll go somewhere else. Like
exactly.
I think that's
but that's what you do. But you'll be better off. But you're better off even if you lose these top guys if you have a team that wants to play for your coach.
I don't think it's a matter if they want to play. I don't think they can cohesively come together. That's the problem.
No, but the thing, they don't want to.
I don't think they have a staff that knows how to. Truthfully, I don't think they have, because you got to remember, for the last 2 years, and this was a proven fact, the reason why they were so bad at tackling is Lincoln doesn't believe in off like full contact practices. They don't work on tackling. That's why their tackling has been dog shit for 2 years. So like thankfully they got a new defensive corner, although I don't think that's helping them at all. Like every piece they've gotten cohesively doesn't work at every level, from the players to the coaches to the way they just want to run practices. They're going to get bullied, and they're going to continue to get bullied until they get someone in there who's going to, I guess, go get Nick Saban, fire him and go hire Nick Saban, who's not going to put up with the bullshit, and literally tell them, you're going to play like this, or there's the fucking door. I don't care where you go.
I think Nick Saban's done with coaching.
But I'm saying, like, that's the guy you have to go find.
He would be the perfect kind of hire. Well, like, my suggestion, the one I say, like, it's never going to happen because they would never do this. His personality would not fit in necessarily in LA. But I think BYU's old head coach, Bronco Mendenhall, who's currently the head coach over at... he went and coached Virginia for a few years, and he was pretty good. He actually, I think, got them close to a ACC title. But he's really good at just saying, like, look, we're going to come in, we're going to have the right kind of culture. If you can't deal with that, you're not going to be part of this team. And
that's the attitude they need. But
and that's what I'm saying. It would be the perfect hire, I think, in a lot of ways, where he would come in and say, like, look, you're going to either play for this team, like play as a team, or fine, go to Georgia if you want. Like, that's what I would tell. But that's if I'm the coach, that's what I'm telling these guys is I don't want the top end recruits if they're not going to play for the system. And what these top end recruits also need to realize, what the coaches need, well, it's not the system. No. The system's okay, but the players aren't the players at USC aren't buying into the system.
This is my 20 cents. What I think is wrong, I think because they don't have a competent quarterback, I think that's dropping the bar because they're forcing themselves to be one-dimensional.
It made their offense completely terrible.
It hasn't helped them. Like no, the thing is when they become a one-dimensional offense. See, it's a twofold. One, because Lincoln Riley thinks himself a quarterback, whereas he's probably like, I can fix Miller Moss. Clearly, you can't fix Miller Moss because Miller Moss, time and time again, chokes for whatever reason.
My question is, how does he not have a quarterback that's like his guy? He's playing a Clay Helton recruit.
They have two. There's a couple more. So there's Miller Moss. The number 2 guy is a redshirt sophomore named Jaden Mavia, who I don't know if he would be there. Then you got Jansen Jake, who's a redshirt junior, and then there is a redshirt freshman named Dylan Gaba, who they have. But he's redshirted, so I don't think he's gonna come back. And that guy's a 3-star. So I'm curious. So Gaba's a 3-star recruit. Jake Jansen. Let's see.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how did he not already have Caleb Williams lined up in
the guy who transferred to Boise? That was supposed to be like the heir apparent, and then he left because. So here's there's a very weird backstory as to all that happened. So what originally happened was, when Caleb was supposed to leave, that guy who went to BYU or Boise State and got beat out, he was supposed to be the starter this year. But originally what was allegedly supposed to happen was the guy, Will Howard, who's now at Ohio State, was going to transfer to USC, and that was going to be the starting quarterback, was going to be Will Howard. Then out of fucking nowhere, Ryan Day's like, I'll suck your cock. And then he went to Ohio State, and then that threw everything to a thing. So Miller Moss wasn't even supposed to be a starter. It was supposed to be Will Howard, but Will Howard got stuck by at the last second by creepy Ryan Day, and I know I'm also a fake offensive guru, Chip Kelly. And then
how is their heir apparent though? A guy who can't even make the starting quarterback position at Boise State.
Well, he's not with Lincoln Riley anymore. And then just Jake Jansen apparently is a BYU transfer. So
he is also a true freshman. He
was at BYU in 21, transferred to Contra Costa after he originally committed to BYU out of high school but never enrolled. Went on his mission to Argentina and then came back and transferred. I guess. I have no idea.
Interesting.
So thanks for that one, I guess. And then this other guy is this last guy is a transfer for UNLV. So yeah, he has no one of his own ever. So yeah, he hasn't recruited an actual quarterback since he's been here. Because
it looks like
Miller, I can't do jack diddly shit. Moss was a Clay Helton recruit.
It looks like they got a commit from the 2025. They have a 4-star quarterback commit right now.
I'm also confused how Jake Jensen ended up at USC.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened either. I gave up trying to read that one out.
Because at BYU, he wasn't even a scholarship guy. He was a
walk-on, right? Yeah. I have no idea.
He was a no-star recruit.
So back to what I was saying about there's a recruiting problem. There's clearly a recruiting issue. And it doesn't help too when guys like Jansen Dart are doing pretty well and they all left. So I mean, clearly there's an issue at hand here. So when when you have no quarterbacks,
that was the catch-22 of bringing Caleb Williams in.
Sorry, there's two more. There's a red shirt named Jack Stupin. Oh my god, this man. Yeah, this guy should never see a football field.
Hold on,
he is another 3-star recruit. Through 11 games as a high school senior. I'm gonna read you this man's he's 6'2", 245.
Wow, that guy's got some meats to him, dude. He's
and then
hard to bring
and then
down.
the last guy is named Roy Gage, who has the name of a quarterback. He was in high school. What was he? Doesn't even say he was a recruit.
That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So USC has no quarterbacks.
So essentially, what you're saying is transfer portal. That's going to be how you guys end up.
Well, that was how it was supposed to be with Will Howard.
Right.
But that didn't happen. He was going to go from Kansas to USC, but then went to Ohio State.
What about I mean, someone will transfer though. It's USC. Like the thing is like at least with USC, they have the name, right? They got that cachet. Like
not really.
I mean, they've been good historically. That helps them a lot.
See, the whole thing is, and I've had this conversation, and Bryce will call me crazy because apparently Bryce equally hates USC, but will like tell me like they all this other stuff. They can't recruit. They haven't been able to recruit since the Reggie Bush days. Why? Because no one knows who Reggie Bush is, and you're in this weird point now. Because I heard this hilariously, from Ricky Williams because he'll go on recruiting trips for Texas, and he says, "Yeah, kids have no idea who I am. They don't know who the hell I am, but their parents sure as shit know who I am.
Their parents do, yeah."
Yeah, so I'm like, so what are they doing? Sending Reggie Bush on trips and being like, "I remember you. You were amazing." Like, is that what we're gonna have to do? Is like, are the homies Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush gonna have to go out and recruit these guys now?
Thing is,
like have a band, bring the band back together.
The kids are too young to. Yeah, you're right. The kids are too young to know who those guys are because they played when they were like 4, or maybe not even born in some cases. When is Reggie Bush?
It's one of those weird things too. Yeah, it's one of those weird things too, where it's sort of the same thing as somebody like kind of like Colorado, where it's like these kids don't know who the hell Dion is. Their parents
parents definitely do. Yeah.
And they're probably all Cowboy fans because they're Colorado, and they ain't rooting for them. None of them are probably rooting for the Broncos at this point. No. They know prime time.
What helps Dion at least is he is able to pull all of the celebrities the kids do know, and that's like Colorado's thing now. Is you got Mello, you got Future, you got all these fucking guys coming up to the.
That's true. You got all these guys coming.
Yeah, you got all of the coolest guys coming to the Colorado game.
The cool dude going.
Warren Sapp is our defensive line coach, dude. It's incredible.
That's I didn't know. That's wild.
That's incredible.
That's a pull, man.
Yeah, you see him like Warren Sapp was one of the best defensive linemen ever, but you see him on the sidelines. I'm like, I love Warren Sapp. He's the best.
He just brings a smile to your face.
He does. I'm like, hell yeah. He's my coach, man. He's my defensive line coach.
That's my defensive line coach.
That's my defensive line coach.
That's my defensive line coach.
What's that? My defensive line coach.
Sorry, I had to go.
Oh, you're good.
My defensive line.
Defensive line coach is Warren Sapp, and it makes me happy every time I see him.
Yeah, but on the flip side, UCLA has ruined Eric Bieniemy. I forgot he was I didn't know he was the OC until I watched the game, and I'm like, oh my god, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, it's tough. That salary's probably pretty
former
nice.
USC quarterback helper guy here. Cliff Kingsbury is running the best offense in the NFL.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna be a great. He's gonna be a great head coach for Chicago next year with Caleb. He's gonna have his wet dream scene.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the day that you guys poach Dion from us. So I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts.
I don't want him.
You don't want him? I mean, I just want to. Okay, I want to let you know he is the only. So since they put a stat up today,
going to FSU.
No, he hates FSU. He is not get along with FSU. Like, there's some weird bad blood there. He's not going to FSU. There's no way. I think it's because they didn't hire him before he went to Jackson State, and he's mad about it. But Dion,
I mean, they're gonna give it to him because Norvell's gonna be gone.
They will, 100%, and I really hope he says no because Shiloh is still a year away from the NFL. But there was a stat that.
Do you think he stays on?
I mean, it wouldn't be, but it wouldn't be. It also wouldn't be hard for Shiloh to
transfer. You're right. You're 100% right, and he's already done that once. So you know what? I should just shut my mouth because you're right. He'll just move.
He'll just
but-
move without telling you.
I was gonna say, Dion will just say, "Hey, I got offered a job at the university that will like basically bow down to me.
Yes.
So you're coming with me, and we're going to Florida."
And especially with how bad they've done, like they probably pay for Dion.
Part of me would wonder.
would.
Part of me would wonder
Yes.
if Dion would do it just to be like, "Look at what I did for you guys. I made you guys good again."
and see, that's the thing is like, I wonder if he stays just because of that for Colorado, because Colorado's been in the gutter for 20 years, and we actually matter now. Like the stat they put today is in the first 2 seasons, he's the first coach to win 9 games over the last 20 years in their first 2 seasons.
Hey, and at least you guys aren't having what happened last year.
I know. We actually have like a defense. Like our pass rush was crazy today. Like Arizona all year
I was watching Arizona, and Arizona's Fafita was just like running for his life constantly and couldn't get away.
And Arizona all year.
The thing that was surprising was he couldn't get away.
And that's the thing. Arizona all year had given up 6 sacks, and Colorado had 7 today. So we doubled their sack total in one game.
I will say this. You guys also sacked Baylor like crazy.
A bunch, yeah.
Because it was fun. It's funny because those are 2 teams that BYU and Colorado have both played, and like both of them have done similar things. I mean, BYU beat Baylor a little bit more easily, and you guys beat Arizona a little bit more easily.
Yep.
But in both cases, like BYU was able to do similar things in the sense that like get more pressures and sacks like they would. So it does show like Arizona's O-line is just not great. But also Colorado, just in both those games, sacks were crazy.
They were. Yes.
So, and it was good for us today because Baylor destroyed Texas Tech. So that was a good thing for Colorado and BYU because
And we play Texas. We play Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State. So.
I don't know if you do this, but I'm always like any team that BYU beats, I'm like, all right, now I want that team to win like all their games,
100%. Yeah,
because it's like you want that to look great.
It makes sense.
Why BYU's win against SMU has looked so good because it's like ever since then they've gone on. Like BYU held them to 15 points, and they've gone on and scored like 30 or 40 points a game. SMU has, so it's like that's what you want to see out of the teams you beat. It's like they go on. You want
to better your resume. They talk about it all the time when it comes to the NCAA tournament and that stuff. It's like who has the better resume when you're doing tiebreakers. So you always want the teams you beat to beat on everyone else, right?
Well, that's why I'm hoping Oklahoma State, who's now 0-4 in conference play, I'm like, now I need them to go out and just like throttle whatever teams that they play. So that way, I don't know if they're playing Colorado, but whatever teams they play the rest of the way.
Oklahoma State, that's our last game of the season is Oklahoma State.
So I just want to see them go out and like throttle whoever they play because that would be good for BYU.
Yeah.
Did you guys want to talk NBA?
We probably should. Yeah, we're already 40 minutes.
We should talk some quick NBA and some quick NFL and wrap it up, I guess.
Sounds good to me.
College football is just too interesting right now. So
it's the big thing right now.
I don't have to talk college football. College football could end and I wouldn't shed a tear.
He's off of college football.
I guess we're not talking MLB for Spects' sake tonight because Shohei's probably going to the World Series tomorrow.
You know what? I'll give you my take. I would love nothing more than the Dodgers to lose at some point. I don't think they are because I don't think the AL is as strong as the NL. But I would love nothing more than for him to lose.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, who knows? Maybe the Mets come out the next 2 games and
I would
destroy the Dodgers.
Shocked.
Oh, so would I. But stranger things have happened.
Let's go, Guardians Mets. That's the World Series everyone wants.
I would.
I'd be so happy.
Please, God, no.
No, you don't want Guardians Mets, dude.
If I had to, Guardians Nets would just be miserable.
Yeah, but the other option is Yankees Dodgers, and that sucks worse. I hate that.
Oh yeah,
I hate that for us.
Really the one I kind of want, honestly, is just give me the Subway Series because then if I don't watch it,
that would be fun too.
It doesn't hurt me. I don't care. Because the whole thing with Cleveland is if Cleveland were to get in, it would just be they're gonna get slapped so silly.
You think so?
I don't think Cleveland's Moneyball, and I don't think Moneyball's necessarily will pay out in the end.
Oh, I'm a Moneyball guy, so
I shouldn't say
I'm
that.
in for that.
I shouldn't say that. I think offensively it'll pay off. I think pitching it doesn't, and I hate the way Stephen Vogt has used his pitching and his pen. I think the overwork's gonna get him slaughtered.
Okay.
But I think then again, it's Dave Roberts who literally can will mess it up.
Well, right now, Yankees Guardians is tied 2-2 in the bottom of the 8.
It's tied 2-2, bottom of the 9, bottom 8.
Yeah, so
we'll see what happens. A guy named Big Christmas who's a big dick homer.
The other night there, Homer in the bottom of the 9th in the walk off. Oh my god, that was incredible.
Jesus Christ,
so good.
They're showing a replay that I'm just like, that bat flip was disgusting. Dude's gonna have
that game will be so fun to go to.
Probably on Tuesday when it drops, and he better have that disrespectful bat flip because my god, man,
it's fantastic. I love baseball when it's good. All right, but NBA.
I want to make this quick note really quick. The Rockies announced they're going to, quote, cut payroll next year.
Fantastic. Like I said on Twitter, let's go and just cut the team, fold it. We'll get an expansion in 10 years and try again. I'm done.
I like what I said on the BCS show account where it's like, cut Chris Bryant, you cowards.
I'm down. Hey, do it. He's
cut Chris
terrible.
Bryant, you cowards.
He's terrible.
I'll tell you what, we should do a trade. We'll give you Anthony Rendon, and you give us Chris Bryant. And then we'll cut him for you.
Fine.
You still pay.
It'll be the classic like trade and wave like in the NBA, except both sides will do it. So
yeah,
let's do it. I'm down.
I want Anthony Rendon shot into the sun.
All right, but speaking of NBA, season starts Tuesday.
I have a lot to say about the NBA. Weirdly enough, it just feels like.
Well, you're on a BYU high right now that's going to last until they lose. So,
CJ and I will probably talk more about it maybe on Wednesday.
Probably, yeah.
We're not. The Nuggets game will be going live.
The Nuggets game is on Thursday, so yeah, we should do that on Wednesday, the next podcast. Valid point.
Oh wait, that means we can preview Thursday Night Football then.
Yeah, perfect, fantastic. All right, it's done.
And the Lakers play on Tuesday, so we'll probably talk a little Lakers.
Talk some Lakers, some Bronny James. 6th man of the year. Incoming.
He scored 17.
He scored 17. He did. I am a little shocked.
I do weirdly think. Pretty good. I do weirdly think that. What's it called? Do you mean Connect?
Connect. There you
go. Connect is good.
16 Kate. I was like, are we already on the NFL? But no. No, but I think honestly Bronny might end up turning out better only because he's gonna have LeBron just like constantly training him. And I mean there's nobody I don't think there's many people in the world you can have that would make you a better player. I'm not saying necessarily, but I'm saying like he could turn out like a Jordan Clarkson type. Where like he gets drafted in the 2nd round, and you're like, "Oh, we don't expect this guy to do much," and then all of a sudden,
he's like a 6-man type of guy.
Turns out like a guy, who could maybe put up 12 points a game, sort of thing, and give you some solid minutes to relieve your actual point guard, sort of thing. And
right,
his only problem, I mean, my biggest thing with him is he's got some decent IQ basketball wise.
Well, yeah, LeBron's his dad.
He just doesn't have the tools.
No, he's small for a 2-guard.
Tools.
He's 6'2", and he isn't a point guard.
Even if he was a 1-guard, it would just be.
Yeah, you're right. That would still be kind of small, but like he doesn't have the point guard skills. Really.
Outmatched.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, he got more of his mom's genes in a lot of senses than he did his dad.
Yeah.
He did not get this. I can be a gigantic person that LeBron got.
Yeah. LeBron is he's a Greek god basically. But
LeBron, in terms of his physical assets, it's like insane. It's like he's able to be like Shaq, but way more mobile.
Yeah, he's a nimbler Shaq.
It's a similar kind of style of play where it's like I will just kind of scoot you out of the way and score points. But LeBron's able to do it like running down the court, running like 100 miles an hour right at you. Whereas Shaq, it was like, I'm going to put you down in the paint, and I'm just going to back up until I find the rim and put the ball through the hoop.
Well,
Yeah.
I would
6'2",
be
like a
interested to
6'2".
see a Shaq backing down LeBron, like a prime Shaq backing down a prime LeBron.
Well, the Shaq would
Be
still.
interested to see
wreck
like
him.
the defensive like.
So
Yeah,
are we saying a
ultimately, I think Shaq would still like be able to get his points.
Yeah.
But it'd just be interesting to watch like LeBron put all his defensive effort into it and see like them go against each other. Because even for LeBron, it would be about like driving the hoop. But anyways,
So we're not saying a 6'2" point guard can exist.
Well, see, here's the thing: he's not a point guard. He is a shooting guard, and a 6'2" shooting guard is really tough.
I will say,
can't shoot threes.
Claim that he wouldn't be a great one guard either. It's not his height. It's his.
What was his
wingspan? It's his breadth. It's how like muscular and like big his frame is. The thing is his shape.
Oh,
just doesn't.
What?
His wingspan was 6'7.25". That's the important one. Is the wingspan.
So he can bulk. He's got room.
Yeah. It just worries me. Any guard who can't shoot worries the crap out of me. And right now he is 1 for 11 in the preseason shooting from 3.
I will say this: if he can even get like a semblance of a shot, he does have the vision to be like he could be like a Stockton type guy, where it's like if he could get just like a semblance of a jumper, he could go out and give you 8, 9 assists a game and be a nice distributor.
Right.
But I don't know. I think he'll end up better than we expect, but maybe not what LeBron probably is still in his head thinking this is going to be the greatest kid of all time. He's going to be awesome. It's like,
I think LeBron knows deep down what he actually is working with. LeBron's the smartest player to ever live. He knows what his son.
But the whole thing is, you can
ability-wise,
But I mean, you can develop these. You can develop someone like him into like.
I don't want
to say a Danny Green because I don't think he'll have the shooting prowess of a Danny Green, but like
that makes sense. A good rotation player that is a good defender. He has good feel for the game. Like that's who he is.
It's almost dare I say that's what his head coach was. That's what Redick was. Redick wasn't exactly like
Redick was a shooter, but 100%.
Redick was a shooter, but he wasn't like this like MVP level.
No, guy. He was a 6th, 7th man. Spot starter when you need it. 100%.
And he knew he was in there to shoot, and that's all he could like. And literally, like, what would I tell Bronny to do? Literally turn the guy they drafted and Bronny into just two shooters that can just come in like boom. That's all. That was what the Lakers are missing. You literally have 2 guys you could probably mold into that.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, what will Bryce James become?
Oh, I have no idea. Is he?
He's
ranked in high school.
I think he's supposed to be better.
He's got a decent composite score on 24/7. He's got a 91.6%, but right now that's still like in that class because that class is so stacked. That is just a 3-star recruit.
He's a 3-star recruit, but he's 6'4", so he's more shooting guard size, which is good.
Yeah, he could potentially. It just you wonder, but the thing is like recruiting wise, he's ranked as a 3-star recruit. Bronny was ranked as a 4-star.
Was Bronny really a 4-star recruit?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, Ohio State offered him offered him stuff.
I'm at the football.
Yeah, he was a 4-star recruit. He was a 4-star both as a prospect and like both his composite score, he was a 5-star recruit.
Interesting.
So, but then like he did have his health issues, so like maybe that like delayed his development.
That is the biggest thing.
Where you wonder about his like.
That'll do it.
Become better than he is.
And
like,
see,
cardiovascular stuff, that'll screw with you.
It will. And also, it's partly too is not necessarily any of his like talent or anything. It's just he should have stayed in college another year. Like
Bryce James is 6'6".
Yeah, I think Bryce is bigger. And
Bryce is 6'6".
No, I saw online that he's only. I only saw on 24/7 listing is only 6'4", but maybe that's outdated.
It might be. And Bronny was listed as 6'4". on.
He's 6'6", bucket.
So
he might, if he gets a little bigger in these next couple of years, he actually might be.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think for Bronny, it's more of, I understand he wanted to come out. He should have stayed in college like another year or two. Like, because it's going to be a thing where it's going to take a couple years to improve enough to be a rotation player. At that point, your first contract's already up, and like,
well, I mean, I guess the better question is it better? Are you better off having to basic? Well, I guess this is the question I would propose, especially where he was, because unless he's going to transfer, which I don't think he necessarily would, is what for someone like him, and this isn't necessarily everybody's situation, but for him specifically, he might be in a better position as someone who just one and done, got drafted, because then he's under the tutor. Then he can work out with his dad as much as he needs to. He can work with Reddick as much as he needs to, where it's like in college, he's still a student. However loose that word is, he's still a student. Like, he can't be in the gym with his dad just being like, okay, you're gonna focus on this, and this is what you're gonna work on, and sort of have that, like, hey, you're going to take 100 threes every day. You're going to be taking 100 free throws. You're going to be in
where
the
it's
gym.
his job, essentially.
That regiment, like, you can't have. So maybe for, a normal player in that thing, it would be better for him to stay in college. But maybe in this, like, the 99th out of 99 out of 100, he's number 99, where he's the one that it'll benefit him to be in the NBA because he's going to be learning from the best player on a daily basis.
Right.
And a coach who understands that, like, hey, this is what your skill set's going to be, and you're just going to work at it.
I understand.
Is that fair? I don't think it's necessarily unfair. I think it's a very dumb thing for, like, I see it all the time where it's like the points he averaged versus some of the points he averaged, and the guy who was quote unquote better didn't get drafted. It's like nepotism. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, if the Lakers didn't draft him, they would have signed him. So what is it like? But that second round pick does not matter. You just get the guy. You're like, hey, we think we can develop him better.
Right. I understand.
They took him in the first round.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It always worries me, though, that once you're drafted, a clock starts, right, when it comes to contracts. Teams are only going to give you so much time to develop. Whereas if you use a couple of those years in college to get some of that development done, you're a more finished product when you get to the NBA. And you're farther along when that clock does start in terms of, like, your first contract, right?
Yeah, but you're forgetting the really important thing here, CJ. Then he's going to play with LeBron.
And
that's true.
That's true. He's playing with LeBron, but also LeBron could buy any coach he wants on the planet to work with Bronny one-on-one. So, like, I don't think NBA coach really matters. He could just be like, hey, Mike Miller, what's up? Teach my son to shoot. I'll pay you $500,000. Like,
but it's one of those things, like I said, how much time does he really have? Because he's still a student.
He's a student athlete. He doesn't do school stuff. We know this. Come on, we all went to college.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, but you know what I mean? Where it's like, and he has to be a student, like, kind of thing. It's sort of like, I kind of laugh because the Sparks have the number 1 pick, and they're gonna get what's her face out of UConn with the number 1 pick. So, dynasty for the Sparks starting here soon.
Oh,
Kobe Shaq style for the white girls.
Saying, yeah.
But, like, she was out here in LA and had to do class, like, the last, like, thing. She was like, yeah, I'm going to be in class, and literally posted a picture of her in class. So, I mean, I guess it matters.
Yeah, I mean,
also, I think that's different.
It's a little different, I think.
You'll say that when the Sparks raise that title in 3 years.
You know what? Good for them. I'm waiting for Denver to get a WNBA team.
Denver's WNBA team. Yeah, I don't have one.
I want one.
I would root for the Sparks.
Yeah. Root for the Sparks.
I honestly, if I had to choose a team, it'd be Vegas, because they're, I think, geographically closest to me. So
they're closest, and I really do like Plum a lot.
Plum is awesome. Yeah.
While her ex-husband's making terrible country rap songs.
I don't know.
She's out here winning rings.
Yeah, I don't know. He made a bad call there, I think.
I know. That's what I'm like, Jesus, dude. Your ex-wife's out here just whooping your ass on and off the court. God damn, dude. You're a terrible tight end. The one
right.
good thing that McDaniels did get rid of that broke that man's spirit.
Yeah. All right. I guess while we spiral away from NBA stuff, who do you guys have for the title this year? Let's just put a pick in. Just so we have it on record, and it's putting you on the spot.
There was one point where I would have said Minnesota.
Oh, right, yes.
Year, but that trade changed things.
Yeah.
Nuggets?
Nuggets. I like where you're saying. Nuggets, Knicks.
Nuggets win. Ooh. Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6.
Or sorry, Nuggets in 6.
Nuggets in 6.
I'm not.
Okay.
The Joker's got facial hair now. He's gonna reach another level.
He does.
He's done it. He's unlocked a ton of this ultra instinct.
He does. LeBron and Murray's going with the curly braids, and he's thinking about getting tattoos. I am so in for the second coming of the Thuggets era.
You're reaching another level. You've reached the villain arc where they're like, we're taking it back.
We're gonna win Russell Westbrook a ring. But yeah, I agree. I'll take the Nuggets, but I think it'll be over the Celtics personally. But I am not biased at all.
I wanted to say the Celtics, but I'm like, no, I'm going to say the new hot team. I'll say the Knicks get it because I also hate the Celtics. So
I'm going Thunder Knicks.
That's a good choice. Honestly, if I couldn't pick the Nuggets, I think Thunder would be the one.
Convert it this year, and that young talent's just getting better and better.
And they got so good.
That's the thing with Denver is I think they could win any series in the finals, but right now the way their team's constructed, I think they could also lose any series on their way to the finals.
Agree.
I'm saying, like, yeah, I do believe Denver could make the finals and win the finals even, but I also think that Denver could lose in the first round in a weird 7-game series against...
We could lose in second round. We'll win first round. Yeah. Second round, we could potentially lose.
Because they're probably, you're probably going to be the number one seed.
They could lose any round, or they could win any round, and they could dominate their way through the playoffs, or they could have a bunch of 7-game series. I could see anything happening with the way that roster's constructed.
They'll probably play the Lakers in the first round again in full,
it partially ends up having to go with Jamal Murray making sure he's hot for all the games that he's in, and having all your right.
He'll be hot again in the Lakers series again.
Right games and yeah.
Scarred.
Jamal Murray would be the X factor. It'll depend on how Christian Braun is able to step into that starting role because that's really big. And if Julian Strawther can be our shooter off the bench because that's where we're lacking now. Losing KCP, our shooting is not good. So
don't worry, they'll make a trade for somebody.
There's not much we can do financially in terms of trades.
You know what they'll do? Here's what they'll make some weird trade and get Lonzo Ball or something. Or
would be. Honestly, Chicago's the team that I'm I want someone there. I want either Lonzo or Ayo. No, I don't want Levine. I want Ayo because he's probably the fifth guard on that team, so that he's gonna get moved. I at least have
or the spicy. Do you want to? Can I give you a spicy trade?
I love spicy trades. Yes.
What if you trade for Brandon Ingram at the deadline?
I hate that. I hate that so much.
Why?
That has been brought up, and I hate that because I like Michael Porter Jr. better.
Would require from Denver.
Come on.
It would be too much.
Would require from Denver. It would be too much. They would not be able to make the finals anymore.
100%. Because
yes, you could pair Jokic and Ingram, and that'd be fun. But
you would have to get rid of. You'd have to get rid of Michael Porter Jr. So your shooting gets worse. And you probably have to give up Peyton Watson, which I'm not a fan of.
You know what? I changed my mind. Remember you and I were talking about, I think, just in a call. And I said, what about LaMelo Ball? Because LaMelo could be a very fascinating player at the deadline. That could be somebody. I don't think it would take a lot to get him. At least not as much as it would seem.
See, the thing is with LaMelo, we would have to move Murray to make that happen. Because the Nuggets are in a spot where any big name, we're giving up Murray, Porter, or Gordon to do it. One of those three. And personally, those are not the guys I would want to move. Maybe if Gordon decides he doesn't want to resign, I would move him because he has got a player option for next year. But
is it sort of you're just looking at, I said, kind of you're saying, the Chicago guys because there's not really a name that would really cost you a whole lot?
Exactly. That's my thought. Is the Chicago, they have a lot. Their depth chart right now, it's Giddey, Kobe White. Those are the two starters. You got Zach LaVine playing the 3. You got Lonzo, and then you got Ayo DeSumo. I would if you could probably get either Lonzo or Ayo for relatively cheap because they have a lot of depth in Chicago at the guard.
To be fair, I would love Lonzo to go to somewhere to win. Because I want him just to.
I love Lonzo. I want him in
would,
Denver.
Yeah, it's like I think that would be like a move they would make where it's like it wouldn't cost him a lot, and I think it would.
Yeah. Like
it would help him. Like him and Murray running up the court together would be fun.
The thing with Lonzo is the salary. It's $21 million for Lonzo, so he's too expensive. We could not put together the right player package to get to $21 million. Io is $7 million, so you could trade Zeke Naji and get like pretty much there because they have very similar salaries. So like,
to be fair, the NBA is also really weird with its money because like you say, oh, there's no way it would happen, and then magically like Lonzo could be in Denver,
and you can you're right. There's always that third team you pull in to make stuff happen. Oklahoma City's always making trades to get like a million freaking picks or whatever. So
Utah,
yeah, Utah's gonna
could be another one where they just say like, hey, we'll take this and make it work money wise for you.
Like, make it work money wise. Here's a first round. We'll give you a first round, or we'll take a first round pick to do it. You know,
because that's what they used to do, right? Because that's like that. Because I remember. Okay, wasn't that the reason why I forget this. Maybe I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that part of the reason why all of a sudden you saw like Houston sign guys for whatever reason, because like the NBA didn't like the idea of having like essentially a salary graveyard.
You're talking when they signed Van Vliet and
Van
Green
Vliet
and stuff. Well, part of it was to get the veteran presence on their team, but yeah, you're right. They had a lot of salary cap they did have to fill, and those were good contracts that they potentially could trade out at the trade deadline for whatever they ended up wanting, right? But I mean, they didn't make any moves because their team was actually pretty decent. So
yeah, but it was like they had to like they just didn't want the NBA doesn't like the idea of like a team becoming like a bad contract graveyard.
Yeah, because we've seen that before with like the Charlotte Bobcats and teams like that, and it's just not. Yeah,
and you had this and you had a very odd. I remember that roster in the video games, and it was just like, what unholy hell is this fantasy team? What the hell is this? Yeah. What is this? When you had like a Mecha Okafor is like the one like guy they had, and everything else was just like Stephon Marbury.
They had Gerald Wallace. He was pretty good for a while.
Wallace. I forgot about that. Jared Wallace.
He's the man.
Oh, speaking last thing, because I thought this was funny.
Mm-hmm.
The useless potato, Andre Drummond, admitted that he missed shots on purpose to get rebounds and make himself look better.
That's incredible.
I'm like, I knew it, you bastard.
my question is, were they talking about Angel Reese when is that what brought it up? Were they talking about Angel Reese because she does that shit too?
That's my favorite bit. Is they're like, yeah, Angel Reese with the double doubles. Like, yeah, she's in every.
She's a great rookie because double doubles, and then and then you watch her and she's literally like,
what? Yeah, I saw some highlights.
Rebound. I'm a 10.
Oh,
it's like,
hey, look at that, guys.
Crazy. Yeah, hunting for triple doubles.
Shooting from the line.
That's crazy. Caitlin Clark's so good. Yeah, we only like ethical triple doubles here, which Jokic provides. So,
you got Russell Wilson.
Russell Westbrook.
What I like about Caitlin Clark, I will say this: what I like about Caitlin Clark is she just goes out and does what she does. She's good because she's good. She doesn't like.
She doesn't care. She's like, I'm just gonna ball. No.
And like, and part of the thing is I there was a point last year where the ESPN was posting like, wow, look at this highlight from the WNBA, and I watched it and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
like,
it's always
what's going on?
Like,
it's no, and that's not always the thing. Like, there are some WNBA highlights that are great, but sometimes I feel like it's like we gotta promote this, and it's like, don't.
Yeah,
you
saw that. Well, the Sabrina Ionescu shot the other night.
Yeah, that was. I'm like,
that was so much swag, dude.
Stuff in the WNBA that can be watched.
Like, there's Kobe's protege.
It's like, here, I will say this: they're used to the NBA where it's like every game has like 10 highlights that they can use.
Yeah,
well, it's hard when it doesn't have that.
Yeah, there's also less teams, right?
Fundamentally strong game, like it's basketball fundamentals basically, and then you've got some players that can be flashy.
Yeah.
So,
I think now at least you have names.
She is a highlight reel. She is just,
Yeah.
Yeah, at least you have names now. I think it's just going to take some time, but I mean, you have names. Like, you're going to have, all things considered, more than likely, you're going to have 2 stars out here in LA. We know when the next WNBA draft comes around, you got star power in
Indiana,
Indiana. You got star power New York, Vegas, Minnesota. I mean, I think Seattle's still going to be fairly decent. I mean, the local Chino legend in in Phoenix. You got
She's not retired yet. It's incredible. She's like 42.
Don Lugo.
She's killing it.
Don Lugo legend, Bryce's favorite school.
Oh, you know me so well. I love Don Lugo.
Oh, speaking of that school,
Lugo Conquistadors.
Speaking of that school, they had a guy who was a 5-star recruit going to USC as a tight end. He shifted over to defensive tackle and sucked.
Nice. Well, by the way, it looks like Iowa State's going to pull this one out against UCF.
Oh, Iowa State's going to win.
They just scored with 15 seconds left. They're up 38-35. I mean, we'll see if
he got
UCF
drafted?
can do anything right here at the end, but...
What?
Oh, did he get drafted? That's hilarious.
Hold on. He got drafted by the Buccaneers. Did he win a ring with Denver?
What?
No, wait.
Who are you talking about?
So the guy who was George Uko, he was like the shining province of like one of the schools, like our rival school. He played with Denver in 2015. I don't think that's the year they won. I think it's the year they won.
That was the year after we won.
Iowa State just won. UCF threw an interception.
No, wait.
Oh, no, that was
the year they won. That fucker has a ring. What
Congrats
the
to
hell?
him.
Wait, does he have a ring? No shot. Was he on the practice squad? Oh my god, he actually has a ring.
Yeah, he's part of the team.
What? Holy shit, that guy has a ring? What? Wow.
Former BYU great Elijah Bryant has a ring. He's not playing in the NBA anymore, but he got a ring with the Milwaukee Bucks as one of their bench players.
Nice.
So there are random guys where you're like,
there are a lot of random guys who are like, that guy has a championship? That's crazy. I think he might have been the practice squad with the Broncos.
No, it doesn't say.
It says he was on the squad. He was signed.
He joined part of the practice squad on February 7th. He was part of the team that won
on February 10th. Wait, so was he active? Like he was on the team only for the Super Bowl game?
My guy.
What a legend. Yeah, he was. Wait, what date was that? February 7th. No, he got brought up to the Broncos team after the Super Bowl, 3 days after.
But he still got a ring.
Reference. Yeah, he's practice squad, so he still gets a ring. But that's hilarious. All right. Well, I guess that's pretty much all we have, unless you want to just talk about Tua being cleared. Sounds like
we push that a week. He won't be playing for another probably week or two.
So
I guess with concussion protocols being what they are.
Cool. All right, cool. So I guess we'll wrap it up there then.
I also don't want to push this too long because
that's true. We're already an hour 12 in.
20-minute discussion on that, and then we're like, oh, this is an hour and a half in. Nobody's paying attention to us talk about stuff for an hour and a half.
All right, cool. Then we will be back Wednesday because the Nuggets play on Thursday. Me and Spects will probably be talking NFL and maybe NBA stuff. So see y'all later.
Right.
Peace.
Bye.